Annyeonghaseyo, my name is Sarah, Lara, and Bebita.
And for today's menu, we are going to cook Korean cuisine.
Today's recipe is Gyeran Marie or Korean style rolled omelette. And for the ingredients you will need crack and beat the eggs in a bowl with the fork until the yolks and whites are blended well with no visible strings of whites. Stir in salt and pepper. And then stir in the chopped vegetables. After that, beat the eggs mixture. Add the vegetable oil to a medium-sized pan and distribute the oil. Add the eggs mixture to the pan, swirl it around to cover the pan, let it cook until the top begins to set but is still wet. Lift one end of the egg and fold it over to the other side. Reduce the heat or raise the pan away from the heat for a little while if the bottom is browning. Lift the folded part and fold it again. And then remove from the pan and let cool for about 5 minutes. And then repeat the process with the remaining egg. Slice the egg into thick or even pieces. And last, serve the Gyeran Marie.
The Korean side dish that we made is the Gyeran Marie. It is literally translated to egg roll or Korean style rolled omelette. It is a very easy and simple side dish that is a favorite in lunch boxes. It is wonderfully soft, fluffy, savory, and mild, tasting very similar to an omelette but a little firmer and chewier. This side dish is typically made with beaten eggs and the two types of chopped vegetables, which is the carrots and scallions, that is cooked in a thin layer in a frying pan and then rolled up until it forms a log.
And for the next recipe, Korean cheese ramen noodles. And for the ingredients you will need
In this video, I'm going to show you how to make a cheese ramen noodle recipe. The recipe is very easy to make and very delicious. You can make it for breakfast, for lunch, for dinner, or for whenever you are hungry. And I hope you will like my quick and easy ramen recipe today.
For the first step, bring 2 cups of water to a boil. Then open your ramen package and put it in the pot, not forgetting the broken scrub. Boil it until the noodles soften, then spread it out with a chopstick. Then, if it has been fully cooked, drain and rinse with cold water to remove some of the oil and filling that became trapped in the noodles while being prepared for packaging, and it also makes the noodles chewier. Set the noodles aside. Pour in the remaining 2 cups of water and season with the soup base. In the small plate, crack the egg and beat it. When the soup paste has boiled, use a spoon to stir the soup and slowly drizzle the egg into the soup to make the eggs floppy. Add half of the green onions to the soup and cook for another minute, stirring occasionally to allow the flavor to soak into the noodles. And then put the freshly cooked ramen. Then put the cooked ramen in a bowl. And last but not the least, top with cheddar cheese and garnish with green onions, sliced green beans, and sliced carrots. And there you have it, cheese ramen is ready to eat.
Cheese ramen? Yes, you heard that right. Cheese with noodles and soup. Cheese ramen is so simple yet so delicious and satisfies 2 cravings at once. The cheese balances out the spiciness from the Shin ramen. So spicy haters have no fear because cheese is here. And we all know that Korean dishes are often spicy, including their noodles. And therefore, cheese is often added to their meals to make them a bit milder, and adding this thick they produce to meals like ramen also makes the broth thicker, creamier, and tastier. And South Korea is basically a cheese lover friendly country, and as there are literally tons of Korean dishes with this dairy ingredient. In the presentation, the cheese ramen at the top of noodles, we put cheddar cheese just like how it is staple mac and cheese. Cheddar is often used to make this noodle dish, and it is perhaps the best choice for this as it gives off perfect texture and salty taste. And for additional toppings, it may also enhance the flavor of the noodles and give them in a bit more color by adding some chopped green onions, sliced carrots, and slices of green beans, and might even trick you into thinking that you are not entirely eating something packed with fats and carbs.
For the last recipe, Hoto Korean sweet dessert pancake. The ingredients you will need: in a hot water, add 1 teaspoon sugar and 1 teaspoon dry yeast. and then mix the ingredients. Sift flour, cornstarch, and salt together. Add the yeast water, oil to the flour mix. Dough should be fully wet and sticky. Knead until everything is well incorporated and the dough is formed. The dough should be a bit sticky but still comes off the hand. Cover the dough with plastic wrap and place it in a warm place and let it rise until it double size about an hour. And then, prepare the filling by chopping the nuts and mixing all the filling ingredients well. Lightly oil your hands, tear a big enough piece of the dough to make an about ball, flatten the ball into a thick disc, creating a shallow well in the middle and add 1/2 tablespoon of the filling and lightly press it down. And then, add the sugar mix into the center of the dough and close up the hotok, making it into a little round parcel. And then repeat the process with the remaining dough. Put the sealed side down on the pan, flattening a little by pressing it down with your spatula. Cook for a minute and then flip over. Press down for a few seconds to flatten. Cook until both sides are golden brown. And then repeat the process with the remaining dough. And then, serve hotteok Korean sweet dessert pancake.
And for the last recipe, I'm going to share or present a dessert, a Korean sweet pancake called hotteok. The outside is crispy while the middle is filled with sweet gooey delight. And this dessert is one of the most popular street snacks in Korea, and they are especially popular during the winter. Hotteok tastes like a bready pancake with cinnamon sugar because it's a yeasted dough. It has a beautiful rice-like soft bread, but the technique of cooking gives it the crisp outside of a skillet pancake. And a hotteok filling is flexible with many options. And one of the most popular in South Korea is a combination of brown sugar, cinnamon, and chopped peanuts, and served with walnuts on top.
And these are the recipe of Korean cuisine.